Yo, what's good? Welcome to another edition of Rumble House Sports. You know what? I kind of want to do it like, welcome to another edition of Rumble House Sports. You know, just something.
Vince McMahon.
Try to Rumble House
Sports.
Welcome to another edition of Rumble House Sports, baby. I'm your host, Jay.
And this is Chris.
This is Red Man.
And this is where we talk about everything pro wrestling. We talk about all things that are good in the world of pro wrestling, baby. Y'all ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's get it.
But staying on this AEW topic, they wasted no time in poking fun or really picking at WWE and all of its releases. We know we had a lot of releases from the WWE, including most notable names, Karrion Kross, Nia Jax, Nia Jax rather, Ember Moon. Those are
Keith
some of
Lee.
And Keith Lee. Yeah, thank you. Keith Bearcat Lee, some of the most notable names that were released. But literally, after this news comes out, Max Caster, from being the Acclaimed, he says that we end careers faster than your father-in-law does, talking to Bryan Danielson, talking to Bryan Danielson, because his father-in-law is the father of the Bella Twins, and I believe that he has some hands within that WWE. Hey, man, this makes it when you think that the war is kind of falling off and they may be getting beat from a viewer standpoint, things like this is what makes AEW great. Chris, do you agree?
Man, I just don't.
Or do you think, on your same point that you made earlier, that adds to it's becoming a circus?
No, I just think, man, I don't even want to bring up AEW in comparison to what WWE is doing in this situation. Let's just focus on WWE. I mean, at this point, it just looks like that they're ruining careers. Like literally releasing people, releasing fan favorites, releasing people at the height of their careers. Like, it's just not making any sense. So Keith Lee is a fan favorite in NXT, and obviously the WWE sees that and puts him on a main show. Now, I know he at least went to SmackDown. He may have went to both shows. But, they never really did put him in a position to shine and do what the plan was to do this whole time. Put him on the main show and have him shine and become a fan favorite. He never really just got that big push. And it's just unfortunate.
They call it talent hoarding in the wrestling world. They call it talent hoarding in the wrestling world.
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate that we never really got to see the height of Keith Lee. At the end of the day, Nia Jax did have her push. She was at the top of the women's division. You know what I'm saying?
That's even worse that they let her go.
But still,
that's worse.
She's still a fan favorite. So I don't understand why they would release her. It just doesn't make sense. It looks like WWE is just ruining careers at this point. You should have just let Keith Lee on NXT if they were going to do this. Like, it just makes no sense.
On top of with Keith Lee, they literally stripped him of everything that he was to make him this angry, this dominant, he was already kind of a dominant force, but he turned into a Brock Lesnar of sorts, is who Keith Lee became. And for them just to release him, that was kind of whack. Now, they said he had attitude issues and different things like that, but regardless, you don't take a talent, and we'll talk about that, later on, but you don't take a talent like that, put them on, and then they gave him just a bunch of squash matches before they wound up releasing him, which was trash. But I think it does have a budget issue. We have came out of this pandemic. Yes, they're back to opening up full arenas, and they're back to having, a lot of people there, and so they're getting they're getting this money now, but let's understand that they're splitting ticket gate prices with the venue and different things like that. but they're getting it back now. But it has to be a money issue. When you go to releasing people like a Bray Wyatt and a Keith Lee and a Nia Jax, you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, she was at the top of the women's division. It has to be a money issue. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They were on a revenue call. They talked about this exact same thing and what they were trying to do, and they got deals coming on and different things like that. But Redman, it has to be a money issue, right? It just sucks that they wait. I mean, it just sucks that they, like, to Chris's point, it just sucks that they wait so long because that's the talent hoarding portion of it. You go, you have these people, you don't give them much TV time, you give them a bunch of dark matches, they don't have much TV time, and then by the time you release them, they've been used up. All of their energy, they look like Hercules when he went down, when he started trying to save Meg in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the Sea of the Dead. But go ahead, Redman.
Now, it could possibly be a money issue. You know, I don't doubt that, especially like you said, when you talk about the names that they released. Let's not forget, Braun Strowman is still out there in the wind somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He was another big name.
Braun Strowman is a good piece that you should pick up in free agency. Braun Strowman is the good piece that'll help you get over that hump.
Yeah. Bro, I mean, he is, you know, and that's
basketball talk.
One thing that I'm noticing about AEW is that they don't have any they don't really have any like any big guys, like no giants. You know what I mean?
That's true. They got the Jurassic Express. You know what I'm saying? The luchador from Jurassic Express.
Well, don't they got Paul what's his name? Paul Wyatt or something?
Paul White.
Big Show. Big Show. What's his name?
He ain't wrestling.
No.
I'm talking.
The luchador from Jurassic Express, bro. He like 12
Yeah,
feet tall.
Luchasaurus.
Yeah, Luchasaurus Rex. Yeah.
Hey, y'all know he was on Big Brother, right? Y'all know he was on the season of Big Brother, right?
For Luchasaurus Rex?
Facts.
Is that
his real name is like Adam. His real name is like Adam.
With a hat.
His real name is like Adam or something.
Is that the guy? Is that the guy that was dating?
To call himself Judas.
Okay, so that ain't the guy. No, that ain't the guy that was dating the twins.
I think he was on that season. I think he was on that same season, but I don't know if he was dating one of them.
The guy that was dating the twins was a professional wrestler or wanted to be, and he had the long hair.
It might have been, yeah, that might be him. I think that might be him.
Man, that's crazy. Remember the twins? They left. They were switching back and forth and all of that.
Right. Yeah.
And he didn't really know, but he knew because they really wasn't dating. He just kind of liked one, and then they got closer together.
He was on Big Brother. Yeah, he was on Big Brother.
That's wild. But go ahead, Redman.
Yeah.
But no, it could definitely be a money.
But you're right. No. Just to piggyback off of you, just to kind of gain your bearings. You are right. They don't really have. Vince McMahon loves the big wrestler. That's always been Vince's thing. The big beefy guys. AEW doesn't really have the huge talent. You're right about that.
They don't have any. You know, they don't really have any giants. But to your point though, it could be a money issue. I really don't get though why WWE, whenever these wrestlers come from NXT, why Vince McMahon or WWE creative, Vince McMahon, why they feel the need to try to repackage and rebrand these wrestlers. I mean, because the thing is that why did you feel the need to be like, okay, it's time for them to come on to the main show? They've outgrown NXT. It's because of the character that they were portraying and the work that they were putting into NXT, and you saw how hugely over they got while they were NXT. And so that if it ain't broke, the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And unfortunately, and it's just sad, Keith Lee is not the first wrestler from NXT to suffer from this, and he unfortunately won't be the last. And I just feel sad for all the NXT wrestlers, because it's like, if you're an NXT wrestler, it's like you almost feel like you'd rather stay on NXT because you feel
especially with that 2.0 project.
I mean, you just feel more confident that your character isn't going to be, and the work that you put in isn't going to be touched or messed with if you stay on NXT versus, because don't get me wrong, we have those wrestlers that have had some success on the main roster and their character hasn't been touched. But then you got those other wrestlers that's like, you know, like Keith Lee, Finn Balor, even to a certain extent, though his character ain't been touched, but the disrespect that they've shown him by sending him back to NXT and then bringing him back, I mean, it's just so disrespectful. And WWE honestly needs to figure that portion out as far as not changing their characters when they jump from NXT to SmackDown or Raw. I don't get that.
Well, and I also want to make it known that B-fab was also released. So now Hit Row, it's only going to be 3 people of Hit Row because she was in fact released, a part of that as well. So yeah, man. It's wild.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's wild that they allowed Hit Row to come to the main roster with B-fab, and then they release her a couple weeks later after them.
Hey, you know what's crazy is that they were saying that B-fab was like the other than maybe Top Dollar, but she was like the star of the group.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it is wild. So that's why I say it had to be budget cuts. They had to see what they can work with. And it was. I mean, it was coming down the pipeline that it was budget.
And see, this is where I feel like WWE drops the ball, especially when it comes to their factions. I don't get why they feel the need to split factions up, like, especially when there's a woman that has been introduced to the equation. Yeah. Like, I feel like that would be so perfect if you can have a faction that also has a woman. Because if you have that faction that can dominate both the male and the women's division, I don't see how WWE doesn't see the brilliance in that. Because B-fab, you bring her in, she dominates the women's division while Hit Row is taking down the male's division. I mean, that's something that has not been done before. I don't see how they're missing or dropping the ball on that. Yeah. It's the same thing with
China and Evolution.
Huh?
No.
China and Evolution.
DX,
D-Generation X. My apologies.
But the problem was at that point, you only had 2 women that was really beating up on the men, and that was China and Lita. And then they didn't really have a women's wrestling division. I mean, it was all about Braun Penny. So
I mean, China is a little bit before Lita. It was really Lita and Trish Stratus.
Well, yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
at the same time, I get your point.
It was
my point was that it can work, and see what y'all could have did.
Right. Yeah.
There was another faction. I wish I could remember what they were called. But Nikki Cross was a part of Nikki Cross was a part of that faction as well. And I almost want to say they was called.
Bro, don't disrespect her, Nikki ASH, bro. Don't disrespect her.
Formerly known as Nikki Cross. Okay.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, she was also a part of a faction that did well in NXT. They were so good, like Hit Row, they all made the jump or got promoted to the main roster at the same time. But the moment that they got promoted to the main roster, they split Nikki Cross up and she went to the women's division. She wasn't a part of the fact, but they still allowed her to portray her same character though, which was crazy. But she went to the women's division.
They didn't no longer last long.
No longer a part of that faction, whereas all the other members of that faction are no longer even with the company anymore. And so it's just, I mean, I don't know why WWE feels the need to change or rebrand things that are clearly working in WWE, in NXT, and that's something that they definitely have to fix. Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because think about it, NXT is working with a limited crowd, a limited fan base. If they're so over in NXT, imagine what they would do on the main roster.
But we know it don't always turn out like that, bro. we do know that it always don't turn out like that. I mean, that's a good point, but we know it don't always turn out like that. But a report came out.
Velveteen Dream got released.
Bro, we gotta go. We gotta go, bro.
Velveteen Dream should not have. This man is a star.
Bro, he wouldn't. Velveteen Dream wouldn't have made it over in the WWE, bro. They
what?
Bro, who did Orlando? What was his name? A part of JBL's cabinet. He didn't get over with the WWE universe. Darren, whatever his name was, that was a part of the part of the Omegas. He didn't make it over. So look. Now you see where I'm going with this.
No, I don't see where you're going with this. I'm about to tell you where you're going with it, but tell me where you're going with it.
You see where I'm going with this.
No, because those
Velveteen Dream's character.
Like
Velveteen Dream's character would not go over in the WWE because these people who were living in real life, his character didn't make it over with the WWE, is what I'm saying.
His character was flamboyant and a little sexual, but it ain't like the man was he was out there being Goldust.
He got a point. Hey,
yeah,
because that's what I was about to say. He got you right there.
But the thing with Goldust was, bro, yeah, okay.
And okay. Goldust's character.
Hold on. Let's be fair. Let's be fair, though. Let's be fair. Until we actually got truly invested and recognized Goldust for his wrestling, he wasn't over either. Let's keep it a bean. He wasn't over either until you truly got invested in his wrestling ability. That especially all of that Goldust was doing rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Let's keep it a bean.
Man, all I know is what I was about to say is that the wrestlers that you named, I feel like are, if you're great,
but they're not on that level. They're not on that level as Velveteen.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Come on,
but
bro.
I'm just saying.
You named old dude.
Orlando Jones was actually good though.
Bro's name is not Orlando Jones, bro. It was
Orlando something.
Actor. Yeah, it was Orlando something, bro. But Orlando Jones is the actor.
My bad.
Velveteen Dream, bro, was.
Hey, I just made your whole point, bro. I just made your whole point.
We know from JBL's cabinet, man. But to my point, I'm just saying that I don't know if the WWE is. I don't know if they'll really accept that fully. I was surprised when I saw it in NXT.
This dude was already starting to garner attention and attraction, bro. This dude, bro.
He isn't anymore. Anyways, he isn't anymore. So next,
bro, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on. This dude, at the end of the day, in today's WWE, it's all about connecting with the audience and connecting with the camera.
Let's call Lawrence. Let's call Lawrence and see what he says. Let's call Lawrence on the call and see what he says, because you know he gonna agree with me in regards to that, bro. You know he is.
Of course he is.
Hey man, but thank y'all for tuning in to another edition of Rumble House Sports. It's your boy Jay.
This is Chris.
And this your boy Red.
And let's go!